This is a little bit embarrassing, but when I was a kid, I was often sort of lazy. Sometimes it was hard for my mom to get me to help out and do any work around the house. Somebody should have told me this story. In this story, we find out that the cloud and the wind are cousins. They live up there in the sky. They like to play together up in the sky. Well, the wind is kind of a roughneck. He likes to play rough. But the cloud is kind of a crybaby. Every time they play together up in the sky, the wind gets a little bit rough and gives the cloud a shove, and the cloud starts to cry. When the cloud cries, can you guess what falls from the sky? Rain. And that is a good thing, because rain keeps the land green and beautiful. But there was a time, many years ago, when all the people were lazy. They did not like to work and fix holes in the roofs of their houses. So whenever it rained, the water would drip right through, right onto their heads. And they didn't like to repair cracks in the walls of their houses. When the wind blew in the summertime, dust would come through and get in their eyes. And in the wintertime, the cold wind came through. It was always cold and drafty in their houses. But the people were lazy. They did not fix their houses. Instead, they got mad at the cloud and the wind. They started calling them all sorts of ugly names. The cloud and the wind heard that. They said, "Listen, the people here don't like us. We won't stay where people don't like us. We'll go someplace else." And they flew together up to the top of the sky. The wind blew a hole in the top of the sky and then went blowing right through. The cloud squeezed through the hole and popped out onto the other side of the sky. They began to play above the land on the other side of the sky. They made it green and beautiful. But down here, things didn't go very well for the people. They planted gardens, but their gardens didn't grow. There was no rain. All of the trees died. The grass died. So the people got together one day to talk about what they could do. And their medicine chief told them, "We will dance to see if we can bring the cloud and the wind." They danced for 4 days. At the end of each day, the medicine chief held a feather and dropped it to see if there was any wind. But every day the feather fell straight to the ground. And then the people called for Badger, because Badger can dig better than any other animal. They said, "Badger, dig into the ground. See if you can find cloud and wind down there." Badger dug with his strong front legs. He went deep into the earth. He came to the land where the water people live, but he didn't find cloud, and he didn't find wind. And then the people called for Coyote. They said, "Coyote, run to the end of the world. See if you can find cloud and wind." Coyote ran until he came to the end of the world, but he didn't find cloud or wind. But Coyote didn't want to admit that he couldn't do it. When he got back, he took a feather and blew on it. He said to the people, "Look, I found some wind." The people said, "You're blowing on that feather. Go away." And Coyote went slinking off to lie down under a bush. And then the people called for Buzzard. A buzzard can fly higher and farther than any other bird. Buzzard flew up on his big wings. He went in wider and wider circles through the sky. He came to the top of the sky and he saw the hole. Buzzard flew through that hole and he found Cloud and Wind. He asked them to come back again. But the Wind said, "No. The people called me ugly names." And the Cloud said, "They hurt my feelings." Buzzard begged them, "Please come back. The people are suffering without you." They told Buzzard, "You tell those people to mend every hole in their roofs and to patch up every crack in the walls of their houses, and then we will come back." Buzzard flew back down and told that to the people, and the people all went to work. They worked for 4 days and 4 nights without stopping, and the children all worked too. They repaired every hole in their roofs. They mended every crack in their walls. And then Cloud and Wind came back and began to play above them up in the sky. The next thing you know, the Wind gave the Cloud a shove. The Cloud got hurt and started to cry. And what came falling from the sky? Rain. And the land turned green once again. And that's why it is when the children are lazy and they don't want to help out around the house, the mothers and fathers will tell them this story, and then they can see why it's important for everyone to help out and to keep their houses in good shape.